There we go. Bells and bells. We are live back with you on a Wednesday. Minus technical difficulties. We're going to talk about that in a minute. I got man up over there. I got the host of the Bells and Bells podcast, Control Center, Bro Cephas Jody, in the house tonight. And ladies and gentlemen, we're glad y'all to join us. We appreciate it so much. Gentlemen, good evening to you all.
What up?
Good evening, kind sir. How are you doing?
All right, so we had a little bit of a snafu there. StreamYard did not want to connect to Facebook for some reason. So some of y'all saw us on YouTube. Some of y'all saw us here. Well, none of y'all saw us here, so we had to restart the link. So we apologize for that technical difficulty. But we are live. It's a Wednesday. We're in prime time. You got absolutely nothing better to do. Come hang out with your boys for about an hour or two as we talk about the our top 10 wrestling feuds, guys. We're talking wrestling feuds tonight, guys. But before we do that, Joey, we doing some outstanding things on YouTube, are we not?
Well, I like to think so. So yeah, we hope you'll watch, because if you're watching us on Facebook and you haven't, or on YouTube, and you haven't looked at our shorts, we're trying. We put out a lot of entertaining things, not just this weekly podcast, but we're always coming up with new ideas, and so check that out. There's a whole bunch of shorts. They're short videos. Come on. They literally have to be a minute or less. So, you got time for that.
Yeah, we're putting out some great content, some funny, some, showing us our love of the sport of wrestling, all of that good stuff. So, you might want to go ahead and, check us out there.
I'm just saying, y'all. Just saying, y'all. It's good stuff, and we're constantly evolving. Like What can we do different today that we didn't do yesterday? We are literally having those type of conversations, guys.
Yes. Yes, we are. Every day we're having those conversations. We're beating each other up in our chats, busting at each other to get this thing going. But we're doing it.
We're doing it. We enjoy doing it. We enjoy doing it for you all. So do us a solid. If you see a video come from us, go ahead hit that like button. That help us to reach more folks, y'all, and make sure that you're subscribed on YouTube as well, guys. Don't worry, we're gonna cover all that again soon. Don't worry about it. We got you covered. But we got to go ahead and get started with our top 10 feuds. Our top 10 favorite feuds, and when I talk feuds, we talk about the animosity between the antagonist, the protagonist, and they came out to some great, feuds. Yeah. So we're gonna dive into our favorites today. We're gonna go from 10 to 1. So as we go along the show, if you have your favorite feuds, go and drop them in the comments, and more than likely, I'm sure that one of us will be able to relate to you in regards to your favorite feuds. Well, we're gonna go and kick this thing off with Man Up and who he has at that number 10 for his favorite feud.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and start this off in my number 10. It's gonna be a good one between best friends, and I'm talking about Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
How did I guess that? So you said best friends. I kind of had an idea of where you was going with that one.
Well, they are best friends, in real life, and they had their feuds on here. What's up going on there, Facebook user? But yeah,
StreamYard.com/Facebook. Go ahead and go to that link. Give him permission. Go ahead, Man Up.
All right. They were at one point they were feuding, who was the leader of DX, and a few times Triple H turned on Shawn Michaels, and a couple times Shawn Michaels turned on Triple H, and that led to some good entertainment there, between those two, because those are some great spotlight wrestlers. Two main eventers, with Triple H being nicknamed the Game, the Cerebral Assassin, and all that stuff. Shawn Michaels, HBK, the Showstopper, Mr. WrestleMania. I mean, them two had great careers and great chemistry in the ring with each other. It's undeniable about them two.
Which one of the matches in that feud that comes when you think of that feud? What match comes to mind?
I'm trying to think of what year in the match, but I know it was one point where Triple H turned on Shawn Michaels, hit him in the back with that sledgehammer.
Well, he
And,
really that's that SummerSlam that Shawn came back.
yeah.
Yeah, but they had that no holds barred match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
also too, there was another. I'm trying to think off the top of my head right now.
Yeah.
To where they kind of. This is when they wasn't feuding, but this is one that I thought was a great match overall. I know we're talking about feuds, but I gotta talk about this. This is when they tag teamed. I think it was at SummerSlam. I forget which one. When they had a match against Legacy, and that was a great match, a great interest, all of that stuff. But that just shows you how they took a storyline and they evolved it as they kept going. It changed so much. But let's go on here to Joey. Who's your number 10?
All right. Yeah, this was difficult, I got to say, because I think my entire top 10 could have been my number 1. So
that's good, though.
I know, because there's so many great feuds. I'm going to go with a feud that started in the early 90s and is still going on to this day as of last year when Raven was inducted into the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Okay.
I'm talking about Raven and Tommy Dreamer.
Talk it up, Joe. Talk that one up for me.
Whenever
get your
Raven
popcorn.
left the WWE as Johnny Polo and emerged in ECW and started the Raven character, they started this whole story where Dreamer and Raven were kids, and Raven was like the fat kid. That Dreamer was the football jock, got all the cheerleaders, and he bullied Raven throughout their childhood. And then, of course, Raven got in shape, and for a while he had the girl Beulah McGillicuddy until Dreamer got the girl. And then, but there was so many layers to this feud. We're talking started back in 94, 95. And literally is still going on to this day between those two.
Yeah, I noticed you mentioned bullies, Joey, and just a reminder to everybody. Okay, just a reminder.
One of the things I thought was really interesting is, the first couple of years this feud happened up until the point where Raven left for WCW, during the Nitro era. Tommy Dreamer lost every single match to Raven that they had, and they had probably a couple dozen. And it just somehow every time Raven would find a way to win, until Raven did sign with WCW and they needed to write him off of television, and Dreamer finally beat Raven after like 2 years of trying. And then, they had matches, in WWE, they had matches at Impact, they had matches. Mm-hmm. They've had matches everywhere. That's a feud that is timeless. They've made their money out of it, and it literally still is going on to this day.
And that was a good storyline because you always thought Dreamer would get the one up on Raven. It never happened, and that was literally the story.
Yeah.
That was literally the story. So yeah. Awesome. My number 10. I'm going back to the territory days. I'm going back to my old hometown of Detroit, out of Big Time Wrestling, NWA, the Detroit territory, the Sheik and Bobo Brazil. So I'm going real old school on you on that one. They battled up and down the Midwest, all over the freaking country, but bloodbaths over the Detroit version of the U.S. Championship. It's close to freaking home. I ain't experienced none of this. I ain't experienced none of this like personally, whatnot. But I had to go back in time and research like the how these two just, like, it was like oil and water just didn't mix, a big part of it. I don't know if you all are familiar with. I like to hurt people. That documentary they did on the Sheik.
Yeah.
What again? It was in a video store when y'all remember that video store back in the day called Blockbuster Video.
What? There's such thing called Blockbuster?
That's where old heads used to go.
Yeah. So I like to hurt people with one of those videos that you rented over and over again because it was so freaking good, and it broke down. There's just talking about Stop the Sheik and on all his all his manners. You know, one of the features was Boba Brazil. So I've come to embrace that part of history, whatnot. So if you guys got Feuds and whoever saying hey, right back at you, I don't know who that is. StreamYard.com/Facebook so we can know who you are. Thank you, please, and thank you. Man up, number 9, where you at? If y'all got a feud, y'all drop it in the comments, man.
Where's Jason Davis?
Jason Davis, you know better, Jason. Come on now. You know better, Jason. That's the games master.
Oh man! Before I get to my number 9, funny thing is I still got my Blockbuster card.
Oh wow, damn!
You're bullshit.
I can show y'all offline. But anyway, let me go ahead and get to.
I'm calling that. I'm calling that one.
He ain't gonna answer this time. All right, my number 9 is going to be. I gotta take it back to my home state and my hometown. And when I say that, y'all should know what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about Stone Cold and Booker T. And man, we all know about the grocery store feud. It basically
I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, and it started with the invasion actually when Booker T come out the crowd and he dropped Stone Cold on the announce table. Excuse me, and side note, a lot of people don't know this. When Booker T dropped Stone Cold on that table, he kind of broke a bone or a tailbone on Stone Cold, and then put Stone Cold out of action for like a month or so or something like that, 2 months, whatever. And what's going on now? But that feud was funny. You know, we all know about the grocery store. There was a few times that Booker T was in the skybox with Vince McMahon. Then they finally had their match. Then Stone Cold joined the invasion, you know, joined the other side, I guess you could say, the dark side and all that stuff. But that was a funny, very entertaining feud between them two. And
it's important that you're definitely entertained in regards to the feud. I feel you on that one, man. Josephus Jody. At number 9. I love that name, by the way.
I'm not ready. I'm just kidding. All right.
He got me. He got me good.
My number 9, one of my all-time favorite feuds of the entire 1980s, Tully Blanchard and the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Okay. I can
Wasn't that the first blood match? Wasn't that the first blood match? Or no?
Yeah.
I don't think they call it that, did they?
At Starcade, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I remembered. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
That was you know, do guys truly beating the shit out of each other? But I mean, they you know, feud over the television title. I mean, just unbelievable stuff around 1987. That's not an incredibly long feud, but again, it's during a time where Dusty was at the.
It's out, man. I can literally go. I can play that match, that entire match in my head from J.J. Dillon rubbing Vaseline all over Tully's face, then Hebner coming over.
Yeah.
Get it up there.
Yeah, it just further proof that you know, Dusty could work with it with any great heel, and Tully was a great heel.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
God knows, like all the heat in that match. That's what I miss. That's one thing I miss about wrestling, man. That was heat.
Exactly. My number 9. It was one of those ones that started to blur the lines in regards to storyline and real life and whatnot, and definitely one of the most controversial feuds of all time. And it's low on my list, but it probably might be higher on y'all's maybe. Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart.
Okay.
Yeah. From starting from when Bret was champion and Shawn was Intercontinental champion. They fought at Survivor Series 93, I want to say.
No, 92. 92.
92. Thank you. I knew it was because it was after he dropped the IC title in 92. Exactly. Good point.
Well, they started feuding when, and I'll go ahead and say it.
That's our feud actually before that, but because
when Brett was Intercontinental Champion,
exactly, they had a ladder match.
Yeah,
and that's a whole nother story right there.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother story. But when it was brought to the main stage, the start of it was at that Survivor Series, because Shawn had just beat Davey Boy for the Intercontinental title, and 1 + 1 = 2. He actually said that story. Like, that's one of my favorite interviews with that.
It's not as good as Steiner math, but
of course not.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
You see, the numbers don't lie. No, all right.
No, but I like how that was the genesis of that. Then it was the boyhood dream winning at WrestleMania 12. They all led up to the Montreal screw job and everything else. So and all that in between DX and the Hart Foundation. Yeah, that was a feud that brewed and percolated until they were literally printing money.
Yeah,
they really were.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this is Lee West. One of his favorite feuds. Gentleman Chris Adams and gorgeous Gino Hernandez out in world class.
You want to talk about blurring the lines of reality? Like those guys.
Man,
people believe that.
Oh my God. They had a nice little stranglehold. I want to say that was about 84, 85 time frame. And they were tag champions, American champions, Texas champions, and all. They had like hold on to go. I can't remember their team name for the life of me. Absolutely. Gino definitely gone too soon, man. Because they were pegging him as that next breakout star, man.
Yeah.
Because he looked good. He talked good. He can go in the ring. Definitely gone too soon.
Oh yeah.
Man up, number 8.
All right, my number 8 is going to be another fellow Houstonian. A lot of people seem to forget this, and I'm talking about The Undertaker and Randy Orton. To me, when it all accumulated, when they had that casket match, and Undertaker playing those mind games with him, and it was one time that Randy Orton was in the ring, he kept staring at that casket like, this don't look like no wax statue. This look like the real thing. I mean, he didn't say that, but his facial expression is kind of like what gave that away. And staring at him standing at the Undertaker, and the Undertaker coming out of the casket, choke slamming him and just welling on him. And then, of course, it accumulated at WrestleMania, I think, 21, I think, or 20, one of them. I forget exactly. So I forget which WrestleMania, but right. And of course, that's how that all ended. But that feud right there, I think that kind of with Randy Orton working with the Undertaker. I mean, Randy Orton was already over. Don't get me wrong, but that just solidified him, in my personal opinion, to him being up there that he can be a top guy in the near future. And it ended up doing just that with Randy Orton.
Okay. Josephus.
My number 8 is Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry.
But I really like to think their feud goes back to the 80s, to the Hart Foundation and the Rockers.
Okay.
Because they were definitely always face to face in that feud. That feud going back to the tag teams,
right?
And then it just seemed to carry over, at first. But at first, since they were, during that time they were both babyface tag teams, it was a lot of just good wrestling and good sportsmanship and stuff like that. But that kept going for a while. So
I think that feud really caught a lot of heat when Shawn Michaels was talking about sunny days.
I don't know that anybody caught on to that time.
Okay. And leave it to man up, man.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Because you already know they had heat, real life heat. And when Shawn Michaels said that on the Titantron that day, hey.
Of course. All right, man up. I'm gonna put you in the corner.
Okay.
At number 8 for me. I'm going back to I'm gonna go back to the feud that kind of defined the Attitude Era. Yeah, I have this one low as well. Some folks may disagree with me, but Stone Cold and Mr. McMahon, because it brought about that anti-authority figure that Stone Cold was. Vince McMahon was always out to get him. Between that and what was going on in WCW was freaking much watch TV. I remember back in the day, I had picture in my I had cable TV picture. I was constantly swapping with something was going on Nitro and something was going on Raw. Whenever it was Stone Cold and freaking and Vince doing stuff, there's always a constant game of one up the shit with Stone Cold getting more one-ups than freaking McMahon did. Who could remember? Who can't forget? That freaking convertible, man. That white freaking convertible, the cement truck. Jesus Christ, man! I'm like, did they just did that? Yeah.
Oh
wow.
man.
So yeah, that's why I got number. Anyway, if y'all got views that y'all remember, man, drop them in the comments. Drop them in the comments. Man up. Where you at number 7?
My number 7, I'm going to go back all the way back to the 80s. And I'm talking about Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
And I remember one interview that they was doing. I remember Hulk Hogan saying that he was trying to make himself cry and he couldn't. So he had some Vaseline like on his wrist or something like that, he said. And he ended up was trying to put it in his eye to make himself cry so he can get, more sympathy, I guess you could say. And he didn't need to do that because Andre the Giant did an ad lib, I guess you can call it, and ripped his shirt. And when Andre the Giant ripped his shirt, he has a few little scratches on his chest, and that made the crowd love Hulk Hogan even more, and made Andre the Giant more the villain, I guess you could say. And we all know when he came out to the ring and with the new belt and all that good stuff. And then he's supposed to have been the first one to body slam Andre the Giant. But, it is what it is on that topic. To me, that interview alone set it off for me with Andre the Giant. I mean, he already went, I think like 10 years undefeated or something like that. It was a long ass time. And then when he had that match with Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 1 or 2, whatever it was, it was amazing.
Also, in the comments, Piper and Snooker, epic in the freaking cage, man. Epic. That was freaking epic, man.
Forgot about that one.
Exactly, man. Josephus Jody.
All right. I'm going to catch you with something you weren't expecting. All right. My number 7, well, you might expect it from me.
Yeah.
My number 7 goes back to the last generation of stars in New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Okay.
I'm going to go with a long-time rivalry that probably would be going if one of them was still there. I'm talking about Hiroshi Tanahashi and Shinsuke Nakamura.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
You're like, huh?
Yeah.
No, that was a feud all through the 2000s and up until the time when Nakamura left New Japan Pro Wrestling, on and off over multiple championships between. And really, you could add Shibata in that too, because they are the 3 musketeers of that generation. Except Shibata kind of left for a while and was gone and then came back later. But as far as Nakamura, I think Nakamura was originally kind of poised to be that next big star. Then Tanahashi became the ace.
Right.
And then, of course, Nakamura kind of always kind of was behind him for most of that. But just a lot of great matches. And again, if all of what you have seen of Shinsuke Nakamura's WWE, then you're really missing out unless you go back and see his work, and you'll understand what strong style actually is.
Exactly. Max Wrestling Belts agree with you as well. That man up with Shawn and Triple H. One fuse that they remember. My number 7. I'm going back to world class. The Von Erichs and the Freebirds. Gotta love that stuff, man. How one incident can truly determine and define what arguably one of the hottest angles and one of the catapulted one of the hottest territories in the country.
Yeah,
a slam of a steel cage door did that. Then they were freaking off to the races with the Freebirds and the Von Erichs. Any iteration, and that Texas crowd was freaking hot.
Yeah.
Those cocky Freebirds coming down with the Confederate flag on their freaking gear. Yeah, it was that was some heat there, brother.
Yep.
So awesome.
Nice.
Keep those feuds coming, guys, man. Who you got at number 6?
My number 6 is going to be a lot more recent than what you just named, but it's going to be Edge and John Cena.
Okay.
And this was one that I loved the most. But the part that I love most about it is way after the feud was over, and John Cena was in the ring by signing a contract to fight Brock Lesnar, and Edge came on out there. This was when Edge was supposed to have retired back in what? I forget exactly when, so don't quote me. 2015 maybe. Don't quote me on that. I know I'm wrong. But anyway.
What you said you know you're wrong?
Yeah, I know I'm wrong.
Well, go ahead, throw it up.
I mean, if you gonna walk right into it, I might as well go ahead and throw it up. I mean, I don't want you to feel some kind of way. One.
Max say 2011. Okay, I knew I was wrong about the year. So
there you go.
I can't remember the years of all this stuff, but yeah.
Death, taxes, and man up being wrong. These are the 3 guarantees in life, folks. I mean,
no, it ain't. No, it ain't. But nah. What I love most about that was what, like I said, when Edge and Cena, when Cena was finger ready to fight Brock Lesnar. And Edge came out there right when he, did his retirement speech. That he had the naked futures and blah blah blah. Edge came out there and said, "Where's that dog John Cena that threw me in and chucked me in the Long Island River or whatever it was in his hometown of Boston, Massachusetts? And where's that? I want that John Cena. I want this John Cena that don't have it in him no more," and stuff like that. And to me, that when Edge said that made that feud more established in my eyes, because that was a good feud between them two. They were going back and forth. We already know with the spinner belt and all that crap, who was better at that time and all that. So that just solidified that feud for me.
Okay. My number 6 and
Joey, bro, Cephas Joey.
All right, we're at number 6.
Cedric, you're skipping him, man. You're skipping him.
I was gonna come back to him because I'm come back to him.
We on number 6 or what are we on? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, number 6. I'm gonna go with 2 guys that could wrestle a million times that I'd never get tired of it. I'm talking about Nature Boy Ric Flair and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I don't even think I have to go into this. I don't even think I have to go into this. You're talking about something that stemmed from the 1970s until Steamboat's retirement in 1994 when they had their World Championship match at Spring Stampede 1994 before he had to retire. So,
hey, bro, save some meat on the bone for that one. That's
right.
on my list.
Keep it moving, then. Keep it moving.
We're gonna come back to that one.
All
right. So my number 6 and mine echoes this Facebook user. I don't know which one this is. It's NWO WCW. Before NWO had 90 members. This is my number 6 as well. I really like Feuds that help define an era or have a definite impact in regards to freaking wrestling. We all know the impact in NWO and that whole thing had on the business. Good, bad, or indifferent. It raised the freaking game in regards to freaking wrestling, and we were blessed with the Monday Night Wars off of that. Yeah, Hogan joining Hall and Nash at Bash and Beach '96 was freaking monumental, and they declared war on all things WCW, and it was freaking hot. Yeah, then it got oversaturated and. It is what it is, but I had that at number 6. So, Facebook user, I acknowledge you, and I acknowledge your number 6. You did an outstanding job on that one, sir. man up. At number 5, who you got?
Oh man, we get into the meat of this feud. We get into the meat of all this feud. But now my number 5.
We're doing pretty good too. We're right at the halfway point too. We're doing good. I'm trying to keep y'all interested. Keep eating that popcorn. My number 5 is going to be for the rights to claim Dominic Mysterio as their son. And I'm talking about Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio. I know this was close to your heart, being that Dominic watches the show and you're appreciative of Dominic and everything. So I know this was close to your heart, man. Please speak on this, sir. Go ahead.
What the? Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I know this is close to your heart, man.
No.
Well, you feel like Dominic's your own son, don't you?
I mean, man up. I mean, this is your favorite. You literally just said it. But custom.
Go ahead.
And it's in his top 5.
Go ahead.
Latino Heat.
It's mainly because Ray and Eddie are also best friends. And when I heard Ray tell his story, not at the Hall of Fame, but I watched one of Ray's documentaries. He wrestled Eddie Guerrero a few times before. And, so that feud actually started back in WCW. Yes. And it accumulated... it kind of somewhat ended when Eddie left and went to New Japan, but it accumulated back up when Eddie and Ray met back up in WWE at the time. And of course, Eddie dropped that Latino Heat gimmick, I like cheating still, and then all of a sudden here come now he's supposed to be the biological father and all that stuff, and they had that.
I know you appreciated that, man up. And you appreciate Dominic to this day.
Oh man!
As a result of that, and I feel you on that.
Oh man, go ahead.
If his height is indicative of anything, neither one of them are his father.
Oh man!
So Steve is number 5.
Goldust is more by his build and the outfit he wears. Goldust is more likely his dad. Anyway. Because he's a Latino Goldust.
Yeah, I remember Ray did say that in his documentary. But go ahead.
Oh, I thought it was a comment about Goldust being his dad. I'm going to start a whole fan theory.
See, and y'all always talk about man up is wrong. Oh, see?
I'm going to.
No. Bro, Stevens is being sarcastic. You don't know the difference. We know you're wrong. I'm just saying.
All right. Where are we at? Number 5?
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
What about all-time favorite feuds? And this is very more recent, is Jay Briscoe and Jay Lethal from Ring of Honor.
Come on with it. Come on
That
with
was,
it, bro.
well done. And to me, it marked the kind of coming out for Jay Lethal as a top, in the role of being a top guy. I loved him with Truth Martini in the House of Truth. I loved that gimmick. I loved his long, almost 2-year run as Ring of Honor World Television Champion that led him to the champion versus champion match with Jay Briscoe, and ultimately ending Jay Briscoe's run as world champion, and Jay Lethal took off as kind of the face of Ring of Honor after that. And I was a huge fan of the matches they had, everything. And kind of came full circle after we lost Jay and we had Mark and Jay Lethal doing their thing out there, still keeping it alive. But that is that was great. Like I really think, watching the career of Jay Lethal, that was one of his finest moments was winning the world championship from Jay Briscoe.
Man, the ring introduction for representing the House of Truth.
Yeah.
I freaking love Truth Martini. He had the Book of Truth.
The Book of Truth.
Amazing, man. I love that stuff, dude. Freaking Truth Martini. Oh my gosh. But Lee, I'm gonna come back to your number 5 in a minute. But my number 5, transcended territory, started in Mid-South, then went over to Mid-Atlantic. In territory days, and I'm talking about the Rock and Roll Express and the Midnight Express. Man, two great freaking tag teams at each other's freaking throat, with freaking Jim Cornette as a freaking mouthpiece. That was freaking printing money, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm freaking here for it. They impressed so much with their talent in freaking Mid-South. They brought both teams to Mid-Atlantic, and they freaking soared, man. I freaking love it, man. The Midnights and the Rock and Roll Express there, bro. So
nice.
Yeah. Nice. Number 5, Lee said his was Man Up versus Sid at the WrestleMania. Says color commentary was biased, whereas Man Up called all facts about certain things we so predictable.
What?
Biased? How? I was literally telling what was freaking happening. Literally, I'm just saying. If you don't know what Lee's talking about, go back in the archives on YouTube and watch the WrestleMania Watch Party Night 2. Night one was awesome. Night 2, we got into it just a little bit. So that just we appreciate that, Lee. We appreciate that.
Nice plug there. I appreciate that.
That was his number 5.
That was the number 5, man. Hey, and I appreciate that, because I'm just saying, I appreciate that. Lee said it was hilarious. Well, well, I guess it was hilarious because it was freaking true. Because I mean, come on.
All right, moving right along.
Man up number 4.
Oh man, my number 4 is going to be Monday nights, and I'm talking about Raw and Nitro.
Okay.
We already know the combination of that, and I think it basically ended because Eric Bischoff kept going to the well of NWO. And like someone put in the comments earlier, when they had like 90 freaking members, it's like you beating a dead horse now, Okay. Right. And I think that was entertaining. Well, no matter what side you was on, you enjoyed that feud between the two. And
all right. So all right. So you think that you say he went to the well too many times? What not? Did you even though it's do you think that WWE went to, in contrast, do you think they went to the well with Stone Cold too much? Because
yeah, I do.
I think they went the well with DX too many times when you got Hornswoggle and all that shit out there. How was that? Explain to me how that was better than the NWO.
I open to get to all that, but it's not better. Just to answer your question, it's not better. But I open to get to all of that.
And they just have Kurt Angle out there with the damn DX shirt on.
Yeah, that was what
That's
Raw
weird,
30, I
man.
think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about going to the well too many times. God.
Oh my goodness! But
in the context of the Monday Night War,
yeah, the context of it, we already know they was in competition. You know, reign supremacy of Monday nights. You know, who's the better wrestling entertainment company, all that good stuff. I think my personal opinion, yes, I agree with Cedric. They did go to Stone Cold too much, and they still basically do now sometimes these days.
But the thing about it is, exactly.
That's what I'm finna get at. That's what I'm finna get at. Stone Cold is bringing in money. NWO kind of fizzed out, excuse me, a little bit. Well, not a little bit, but you know, it fizzed out. But Stone Cold is still bringing in money, even when his own TV shows, and that has nothing to do with WWE.
Yeah, but the thing about it, put it into freaking context. In 1996, when NWO was freaking started, going into 97 into the heat of it, late 97, early 98. If anything was Stone Cold, anything with NWO, you were freaking printing freaking money.
Yes, you was. Yes, you was.
So it's like
you brought up something.
You go with what bringing you to the freaking dance.
True. But then you brought up something earlier when you was talking about Stone Cold, is that yeah, he was printing money, but then also too with that anti-authority gimmick that he came up with, and who didn't want to live through him beating up your boss? You know what I'm saying? So that was money. That was money.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? No matter what we think about it, that's money. So
okay.
Yeah. Hey.
Nice. Bro Cephas.
All right, number 4. I'm gonna go home into Memphis. I'm going with
I was waiting for you, Joseph. I was waiting for you. I'm like, you gotta give me something.
I'm talking about 2 of the greatest minds in the history of the business, Jerry the King Lawler and Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert.
Okay.
That's 2 of the greatest minds. You got 2 of the greatest bookers, greatest everything. And I remember how hot it was because at one time Eddie Gilbert had to crown himself, and this stuff just worked in Memphis easily.
Right.
and yeah, that was fire every time. That was after Eddie left the NWA and returned to Memphis. And they had a couple year run there where Eddie was a heat magnet there. But brilliant stuff. Two of the, I mean, just a thing, a lot of that you want to talk about something that people forgot about and don't celebrate enough. 2 of the greatest minds in the history of wrestling, Jerry Lawler and Eddie Gilbert.
This was the runner over car gimmick too, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yes. In the back. Yeah. They did that a few times, but yeah.
I like those 2 right there. I like those 2 right there.
Also, hey, before we get to my number 4, this Lee had the Road Warriors versus the Monkey Brothers. The Monkey Brothers were the epitome of enhancement talent. Then they got the gotta love it. Gotta love that stuff. Traveling with Gambrell. We appreciate you tuning in. He has Sting versus Ric Flair.
I like that one.
It's always a classic there.
I love that. And keep it with the Sting mantra. Sting in the Great Muta.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
That was freaking love it. All right, loving this. What about Randy and Triple H? I don't know. We haven't covered that one yet.
Wow, this we got here.
Oh man.
Okay.
All right. My number 4. As soon as my number 4. You all might get surprised by this one. My favorite few: Macho Man Randy Savage and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
All right.
And y'all know how much of a Macho Man fan I am. So, but that whole thing there was Steamboat. Let's them having the match on TV, crushing up the larynx. Steamboat took the time off. He came back on House of Fire, all leading up to the awesome match, one of the greatest WrestleMania matches of all time at WrestleMania 3. With Steamboat winning the freaking title, you gotta freaking love that. In between in there, that they were tearing it up at freaking house shows. You could the intensity between Macho Man and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Gotta love it, man. Gotta love it. Traveling with Gambrell, Stone Cold versus Vince McMahon. Yep, we covered that one. Yep, that was my number 8. Absolutely. That person got good taste. Man up, number 3.
Cedric, I think you're gonna hate me on this one. I'm going straight to
Here we go. We started with this.
Yep. I'm talking about the Ultimate Warrior and Macho Man Randy Savage. I knew it. That was a good feud between those two. And I know how much Cedric loves Macho Man. You know, with that shirt he got on right there.
The Macho Man. First name Macho, last name Man. Don't have a freaking aneurysm, man.
But
you got to channel it by doing the same stuff the Warrior was doing back then.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
Clean your nose, sir. Clean your nose, man.
But I want to bring those two up, man, because I love that feud between those two. It was very entertaining, and I know at that time there was a lot of speculations, negative speculations against the Ultimate Warrior, and as him being the top guy. And I think that feud right there to me symbolized what Hulk Hogan was saying before in the past, before all that happened. So that's why I'm going with that one.
Okay. All right. And I'm gonna bring this one up. Then I'm gonna come back to yours, Lee. Red NWO versus Black and White NWO. This was a little bit too much of NWO. Would you agree, Joseph?
Yeah, that's when it really started to go to shit.
That's what I said earlier.
They're fighting within themselves, man. So it's like, oh God.
Let's put. I don't want to say this. This is going to come off wrong. That was cool. This is going to come off wrong. But when you got 4 middle-aged white dudes in a group, and then you put Conan in there to make them cool, it's like, yeah. They got.
I'm done.
That's when Luger was in the NWO, and I'm just like. And I love Lex Luger, but that was a bad call.
Oh my goodness!
And bro, I'm gonna come to yours right after we do Brosas at his number 3.
Is it my number 3?
Yeah.
All right, my number 3. There's not really much left to talk about, but it's the Midnight Express and the Rock and Roll Express.
Nice, awesome.
So we don't have to delve too much into that. Okay. I'm talking both versions of the Midnight. So
both. Yeah, okay, and I'm with that. Ravishing Rick Rude and Jake the Snake Roberts. Okay, I'm gonna talk this one.
Before you get started, Cedric, my wife would love that feud. But go ahead.
Why?
She talks about that feud all the time. But go ahead.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I'm intrigued. I lost my train of thought.
Wait, I don't understand which feud.
Ravishing Rick Rude and Jake the Snake.
Oh, okay.
Jake the Snake is her favorite wrestler of all time. But yeah, go ahead. But go ahead.
Okay, but that whole feud, they brought Cheryl Roberts into it. Then I again, it's that level of realism when you do stuff like that. Rick Rude had the airbrush picture of Cheryl on the tights. Jake ripped it off on live TV. They had to censor it. You gotta love stuff like that, man. Gotta love it. Number 3, Joe, it's time for us to talk about it. Ric Flair and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Yes,
indeed.
Oh my gosh. The feud that over 3 freaking decades, like Joey said. Flair would tell you, like, I must have wrestled Ricky Steamboat over 2,000 times or whatever time. they knew each other, but they had it, man.
Yeah, probably had 500 matches for the Mid Atlantic TV title, like a long.
Exactly. Yeah, a lot of folks tend to just think about their that 3-match series in 1989, which was freaking epic. But
Yes.
but like I can go back. You know what? I might go back and watch every single one of those tonight. I really will. I'll go back and watch every single one of those tonight because it was that freaking good. But they've been up and down the freaking road in freaking Mid Atlantic doing their thing, man. And if you could watch some of that stuff from the 70s as well, bro.
That's the real true first Fight Forever feud.
Literally.
Like, if that chant had been a thing, those two would have been it.
Love it. Oh yeah, awesome. What we got? Road Warriors versus Sting and Dusty Rhodes. That was definitely that was off of the feud that when the Road Warriors tried to take out Dusty's eye with the spike, man. That was freaking epic, man. Turn the television and international objects and stuff like that, man. So, oh yeah, gotta love it. So yeah. Oh man. All right. We get out to the nitty-gritty. We're at number 2 with you, Man Up.
Well, somebody mentioned this one earlier. I forget who it was, but we all know it's Stone Cold and Vince.
Okay.
And that's one of those views that I talked about before in previous shows, to where it lasted a long time, but it had so many ups and downs, twists and turns, lefts and rights, back and forth, side to side, all that crap, because it kept you guessing and going. It wasn't like so predictable. And we all know that it was I think it was WrestleMania 18 or whatever WrestleMania that was. Don't get me wrong. To where Stone Cold, what they say, joined the devil, signed with the devil and all that. Well, 17, okay. And he beat up The Rock with that steel chair like crazy. And Cedric is silly, y'all. See, this is why they said me and Cedric were feuding. But that feud lasted for a long time. Yeah. And like you said earlier, Cedric, who won't forget the cement truck and his Corvette, I think it was, or whatever, Porsche, whatever it was.
I got another one for you. Remember when he was hunting the Stone Cold and whatnot? Vince thought that Stone Cold was really gonna try to kill him. They have him in the middle of the ring.
With that pop gun, yeah, pop gun. Bang,
yeah. Vince peed on himself on national television. yeah.
So it's like that feud went so far. And the funny thing is about this is Stone Cold said this in an interview one time. He said he didn't really know how to wrestle, but he knew how to do what he could at his best to become the best wrestler there is. And when he feuded with Vince, he thought that was the best thing he ever done.
Well, he really didn't have to wrestle Vince whatnot. He had to play off of whatnot because so it wasn't Gotch versus Hackenschmidt, but in entertainment value and for what they were doing in the Attitude Era, like it fit to a T. What we got? We got Lee with CM Punk, the Pipe Bomb versus WWE. I wouldn't say that's necessarily a feud, but I could definitely understand the freaking impact whatnot. In regards to when you try to have that little peek behind the curtain.
How is that a feud? I'm trying to figure that out. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just like trying to figure out how is that a feud when they produced it.
Good point. Oh, Brown Tiger, what we got here? Best feud is the feud I have with Man Up. Yeah, the thing about it, any feud with freaking Man Up, like whoever you in a feud with, has to carry Man Up. So don't worry about it. Because we all know Man Up can't get over, so it's no problem. No problem. We got Big Bam Vader versus Ric Flair. that was the thing when Flair came back from his excursion to WWE back in the 90s, right there, Jones.
All I remember them really they had a match. and then they had another match later when Flair was managing Vader.
Exactly. Number 2, Joey, for you.
All right, my number 2 involves Big Van Vader, but it's his feud with Sting. And because I never saw. First off, when I was a kid watching this, I never saw anybody just clobber Sting like that. Like Sting is a good sized guy, 6'2", 255, whatever it was he ran. And Vader, tossed him around like he was a cruiserweight. And, Sting had been on his second world championship run, defeated the total package Lex Luger at Super Brawl. And then a few months later, Vader just absolutely smashed him and powerbombed him and folded him all up and pinned him. And I was like, okay. I was like, he just destroyed one of my favorite wrestlers.
Literally.
and that, that feud went on and on and on. They toured Europe, wrestling each other, traded the title once in Europe, I think. And they, it kept going until Vader left WCW.
Awesome freaking feud, man. Sting went for that Stinger smash, and he hit that freaking ring post.
Yeah.
Boom, busted wide open.
Yeah, most of the early feud, Vader got the upper hand on Sting for the most part until that King of Cable tournament they had.
Yes,
and Sting got his win back finally.
Yeah,
like
awesome. I'm seeing in the comments, I'm seeing Ric Flair versus Dusty Rhodes. Lee has Ric Flair and Dusty Hard Times feud. That's my number 2. The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and Nature Boy Ric Flair, and you can kind of couple the Horsemen in there as well. With that as well, because that was starting with Starrcade 84, then 85, and Dusty and Flair just worked, and that drew and that freaking worked. Who's gonna beat this? Who's gonna beat this cocky world champion? Here's our best friend, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, the common man, the American Dream. We all live vicariously through the American Dream against this cocky world champion. Then you bring the Horsemen into as well. Freaking loved it, man. Freaking loved it, man.
Nice,
all right.
nice.
As we reach to the top of the hour, we've come to all of our number 1s. Throw your number 1s out there, everybody, and we're gonna try to get this in rapid fire fashion. Man up, number 1.
All right, like you said, rapid fire. My number 1, y'all should know who it is. My favorite wrestler of all time versus his brother Kane. What? but that feud,
okay.
That feud basically started before Kane made his debut with Paul Bearer, talking about he's still alive, and he did not get burned.
He's alive.
He didn't get burned.
Alive.
Yeah, he's alive, Undertaker. He's alive, and all that crap. That voice, we got on my nerves. But anyway, and then of course, it really started. When Kane made his debut, Bad Blood, I think it was, whatever the name of the pay-per-view was, with the Hell in a Cell versus Shawn Michaels, and Kane come out there, rip the door off, and then of course Undertaker talking about he'll never fight his brother, and then Kane started beating up everybody on the roster until Undertaker accepted a match against him, and I don't need to go too much further with that. They kept going back and forth, fighting each other, teaming up against each other, became tag team champions, Brothers of Destruction. What more needs to be said about that feud? To me, that was the best feud ever, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, okay. Sure, man up. Not a problem. Yeah. Proceed for Jody.
All right. My number 1 is pretty much 2 of my absolute favorite wrestlers of all time. I'm talking about Sting and Ravishing Rick Rude.
I don't think we saw that one earlier, but okay. All right.
No, I don't think anybody put that. Nobody ever gives him the credit. But they said Rick Rude and Jake Roberts. To me, Rick Rude's finest work in his entire career was that WCW run, and him coming in, and that whole angle that they took from the old Mid-South. It was a Bill Watts angle, where Luger came out of that box and attacked Sting and clipped his knee. And then they had the match where he's having to sell. He came back out of the ambulance, and Sting's the returning hero, defending his United States Championship. And Rude beat him down, and then Rude still cheated to win, which is, what are you going to do? It's Rick Rude.
Heel cheating to win. I love it,
dude.
I freaking love it.
In my opinion, I've never seen a heel better than Ravishing Rick Rude, a guy that just organically drew heat like that.
Yeah.
Like all he had to do was walk out, and the heat was there. So to me,
on top of that, he called me a freaking sweat hog. So I'm here for it. Damn it, I'm here for it.
Yeah. But that
tell
was,
me about
me,
myself, Rick Rude.
That was his finest feud to me, and his finest work was there with Sting, and they wrestled over the U.S. title, the WCW World title, the internationally recognized World Heavyweight title. They went at it. It was Sting and Rude when Rude's last match, where Rude had got on that weird platform in New Japan.
Nice. I got to see that one, Joey. I got to find that one. All right, my number one, of course, has Macho Man in it. And of course, it's got to be Hulk Hogan versus the Macho Man. From Macho Man's debut in 85 to him challenging challenge for the title in 80s in 85. He was challenging Hogan for the title at house shows. They were in the feud. The Macho Man won the Intercontinental title in February of 86. They kind of separated until after he lost the Intercontinental title to Macho Man, and then he started going his babyface rub. The Mega Powers joined. They had that whole freaking story to the all coming in with the Mega Powers explode for the world title at WrestleMania 5, but then they still kept going. So they had boxing champion James Buster Douglas referee one of their freaking matches, and then WCW. So that feud went on and on and on, but the one that stuck out to me is the whole storyline with the Mega Powers and the scenes that they were planning during that whole year and a half storyline, culminating with the Mega Powers exploded at WrestleMania 5. So, and I absolutely loved it. And with that said, awesome. Thank you, Lee, for hanging out with us, and thank you everybody for watching this. This was a fun one for us. We were able to go back and take a look at some of the feuds that left impressions with us, that entertained us, that we can definitely highlight some of the folks that had impacts on us. We appreciate everyone for tuning in. But before you go, we would like you to do a couple things for us, starting up with Man Up.
Well, what you can do is, if you like today's show, if you like what we do, period, on YouTube, go ahead, like and subscribe. And when you subscribe, make sure you hit that bell for all notifications. No matter what we do, you will see it, and you can sit back and you can enjoy the show every time. Joey, what else can they do?
Well, I would like for I'm like, I don't know. I popped that for a second there. All right. No.
I called him.
Make sure you're subscribed to us on YouTube. If you're not, that's just crazy. I mean, like we're dropping a lot of different content there. We have belt reviews that go up on there, shorts, and they're entertaining shorts. They're not just clips from the show. We are putting out unique clips, different ways of different forms of entertainment. So you really got to check that out. Make sure you like them and make sure you watch them all. We've got a lot of them on there. We got a bunch of shorts on there. So they total up to about 30, 40 minutes. No, but they're shorts. They're short. literally they're short videos for you to watch. They won't take up a lot of your time, and that would help us out a lot because we spend a lot of our time trying to come up with fun ways to entertain you.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. And what can they do on Facebook, Joey?
Oh, absolutely. Make sure you join the group Bells and Belts podcast on Facebook. Make sure you join that because we are handling a lot of our creative stuff on there, and we want your input. So we put up polls to figure out the creative. So join us over there. Make sure you're a member and participate in those polls, and then you get to determine. Or just comment when you see this video on there. Just comment on it and tell us if you think of something you want to see. It's as simple as throwing it into the comments, and it will definitely be in consideration.
Yeah, and next week's show, Joey, is a result of one of our feedbacks on one of our polls there, wasn't it?
Yeah. There you go. That's the yeah. All right. I'm trying to get my schedule right in my head. Dang it. All right. So and we did a poll and everybody voted. They wanted us to do a top 10 United States tag team champions. Unfortunately, there are not enough. There's only like 13 tag teams that held the U.S. tag team titles. So we decided to do a top 5 U.S. tag team champs and a top 5 NWA national tag team champions. Talking about the national tag titles you saw primarily in Georgia Championship Wrestling.
Yeah.
So we're gonna dive into that next week. But until then, do what Man Up said, do what Joey said, and we will see you all back here next week. So for Man Up, for Bro Cephas Jody, from that awesome show on our YouTube, the Bells and Bells Podcast Control Center, Bro Cephas Jody. This is your boy Saturday. We're gonna see you guys next week right here on Bells and Belts.